this computer. Recording.
Wow. Okay. So welcome everyone again. So this time on another medium. It seems to work a little bit better. I know you guys saw me sweating yesterday. I honestly almost forgot to come tonight because I was flying on the slope, but we had some dinner ordered and I was like, I'm not going to miss that one. But I think tonight is going to be very exciting. We have Andre here from RC Electronics. He will tell us everything about the new system, what's going on. I also got some questions from pilots regarding tablet and so on. We go into that one. Just in general, I would like to say that today we're going to talk only about system, what is available from us, from FlyMate and from Andre at RC Electronics. We will talk about Albatros. We will talk about Albatros settings. At the end, we will have questions going on from you guys so we can answer them. And then Andre will take over this week and next week to do specific courses where you can actually get all the support for him if you have any questions regarding setting up Albatros or which system to buy and so on. He's the right guy to ask. And then we will continue, of course, with another episode where we go into airplane tuning and so on with Philip and me and whoever is interested in this. So I would like to hand over to Andre to introduce his system in general, and let's see what we can learn.
Okay, thank you, Daniel. I'm also a bit admin on Zoom now, so learning to hear something. Please, if you can, just turn off your cameras so the link will be better. And also all of your microphones. Okay, just for start, majority of you already met me on the field somewhere on my workshops. I'm Andrej Vričar from Slovenia. I'm the guy behind RC Electronics, developer of basically everything, software, hardware, and also and guy with an idea for Albatros. So basically, I started flying GPS triangles around 9-10 years ago when I was quite younger with a help of my friend Matej Rozman, who borrowed his glider for me, his Ventus, because I couldn't afford it. Okay, I have to mute all this.
Afstand til skav om, at det gælder altså om, at du går til dine fælder i bundsten og bliver inden for den sfære.
Okay, so basically I started flying at 9 years ago, and then Matej came to me and said, please, can you develop something, as the current system which were there available was quite unstable, let's say. It was the beginning of development, and I started working on the first product, which majority of you know. It's RCT3000, which is now basically obsolete, but majority of you still have it and can still use it with today rules and everything. So why can't
Andre, tell us about how did you come from the idea having the T3000 to the system we are using now, like the Raven and Snipe?
Yeah, well, after many years of using the T3000 and then together with FlyMate, I came with an idea because I had the problem. I'm flying basically now alone in Slovenia, and I don't have a helper, I don't have a tow plane, I don't have anything, so I have to fly alone. I came with an idea what I can do so the people can fly by them own. And also while flying on the competitions, majority of the workload was basically the navigation. Where to fly, how to fly straight, where is the points, and everybody was a bit lost in the space. So basically I sat down and I said, okay, let me try to develop something new. And basically the problems which I saw is how to make it better to navigate, how to make system to tell you to fly more efficient, how to develop better variometer, which will include some other parameters, how to basically compensate the tech probe, which can work perfectly if it's perfectly compensated, and basically how to get across the single channel which has been used on T3000, and it's also a big problem which channels you are using, and people were trying to set the channels while others are flying, right, Danny? And then others had to land because they changed also their channels and so on. And I just put down all these problems and find the solution, how to develop new product, and new product which has been born were called Raven and Snipe.
So at the pilot's perspective, if he watches us now, what would you recommend him from your system to enter the sport? Would you recommend him to go Raven Snipe? Would you recommend him to go on the Sparrow? I mean, the names are for you guys, of course, all a bit new. What would you recommend to a new guy which comes along to start?
Okay, I don't know. Can you see me now, or do you see yourself, Danny?
I see you.
Okay, okay. So basically, we can go and present basically. Okay, I will share a screen. This one. That's the web page. You can go, and everybody can go and use downloads, manuals. And here, the connection possibility of GPS triangle unit sets. It's a very nice document with a description which set to use. And I think I would just go through these sets which are presented here, and the pilot would guess what he would need. Basically, different sets will give pilot and different functionality. Majority it's the same, it's just some extra functionalities are available with different sets. If somebody would like to just try something, doesn't want to invest a lot of money, let's say, into the electronics, I would recommend to go with Sparrow and Finch. And that is written. Just have to see, this is primary, Jetty. System independent, this is the set. As you can see on the picture, we have here on the left side a Sparrow unit connected with RF module, connected to spare channel on your receiver, doesn't matter which system we're using, Futaba, Multiplex, Graupner, Jetty, Core, Veatronic. And on the ground unit, it's a Finch with an antenna and connected to your Android device, which can be phone, tablet, as long as it has an OTG mode, running Albatros. That's a basic set, which is on my side recommended as a starting set for GPS Lite class.
Okay.
Basically, you get a non-compensated vario. What compensated vario means, I will not go today. Maybe this is on some other workshops. Basically, the beeping sound will come. It's already implemented in Albatros. This document is 2 months old, so this is already implemented. So your tablet will beep you, whatever the climb rate is. There is no stereo information. That means in stereo navigation means that in Snipe unit you have a stereo earphones, and it will, all the voices, voice announcements, beeps, Vario beeping will be on the ear, to which you have to turn your glider to fly directly to the point. So that means if on the left side it's beeping, you just turn a bit left until both earphones are beeping your Vario or telling you whatever it needs to be told, then you are flying straight. If it goes to the right side, you just turn to the right a bit and you are basically navigating to the correct point in the sky.
All right. So I guess the best is you look up on your homepage, all the options there. I saw many guys now using the Sparrow in combination with the Snipe on the ground, of course.
Yes, that I would say it's this combination that is an advanced set, let's say for a GPS light class, or a starting set for sport class.
Yes, yes.
Basically, you get, let's say, a bit better range, RF link range, and you get this stereo information on audio, and also now it's coming on Snipe that it will tell you more about efficiency flying, but for that you will need to have a Raven unit on board to have an airspeed.
What would you say in terms of combination? Do you recommend to put the tech probe on your plane, or use the compensation from the unit? Because I know I get many questions, how should I set it up and so on, especially on the light class, sport class and so on. I put it on every plane, but what do you think is the best at the moment, or what would you recommend at the status today?
Well, for sure, once you fly tech Vario, you don't want to go back. That's for sure. So if somebody who is basically coming into the world of Vario telemetry, okay, he can also just buy a Sparrow unit without tech sensor, without tech probe, and just start flying, because let's say the first 10 flights he will spend just on navigation and understanding the idea of GPS flying. And later on, he can purchase the tech sensor and tech probes. Why tech? Basically, if you fly without tech sensor and tech probe, basically you have your stick thermal. Once you move your elevator, plane will tell you it's climbing air, but it's not climbing air because the plane goes up because you change the elevator, or sink because you change the elevator. So in my opinion, when I started flying the light class, when this idea was born, I was flying without tech sensor, because I was flying very light 1.3 kilo 4-meter glider, and there is no energy to compensate. So when I was basically flying my thermal speed, when I pulled the elevator, the plane just put the nose up, but it didn't climb. So it just did like this and just go on.
Okay.
So in this case, the Vario was okay. Now, once I put a lot of ballast inside, now it's basically you have to have it. Otherwise, the Vario will always beep when you move the elevator.
No, that's for sure. And the other thing also, which we really have to mention using Sparrow and so on, is if you have carbon fiber fuselages and especially canopies of the light class planes. I mean, you guys know it's possible if you have a carbon fuselage, you can kind of cut a hole and replace it with epoxy fiber or glass fiber, and you get amazing better connections. For example, I had the Sparrow just 1 cm further back than I'm used to have it, and I had really bad signal, and it's definitely not the problem of the Sparrow. It's mainly the problem of the position, and this is something you have to learn how to handle. I mean, if you get a newer light class plane, which are developed now, of course they have Kevlar noses, but just don't forget to take care of this, and every plane can be modified to work perfectly. I mean, you don't need to buy a new a light class or sport plane if you want to fly and have perfect reception. You just have to fine tune your position of the system, right?
Yeah, and especially I also get some kind of emails about the reception of RF-Link.
Yes.
It's the same story. If you have a carbon, the GPS cannot get a signal for the position, and if you have an antenna, RF antenna inside your fuselage, it's carbon or something carbon-like, will not transmit anything out, so your range will be quite bad. So at the end, the best is just to hang the antenna out, like you do on for your receivers. Everybody has the receiver antennas outside, but they want to have the Sparrow RF antenna inside because it's a bit longer. And yeah, well, that will not work. So you have to set these parameters correctly, and then it's absolutely no problems. And it's for all. It's for this light class, sport class, scale class, SLS class. If there is some kind of metal near the antennas, you will have problems with on the longer range.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right. No, that's great. I think before we go into usage of Albatros and so on, I got some questions there also from some users. In terms of you flying in the light class now, the Sparrow, of course, and in the scale plane, you're using Raven, right?
Yes, I'm using Raven in scale and Sparrow in the light class.
So I would say for all you guys out there at the moment, what we are using personally is definitely Sparrow in the light class and Snipe on the ground, or Finch. Since the last update from Albatros and so on, Finch can talk, right? And
no, Finch is not talking, Albatros is talking.
That's what I mean. The tablet or Albatros is talking, and the same update also works now with FlyMate. So you do have the course corrections. That was very important for us, that we actually can offer also that for FlyMate, because you know the idea about this, you have the light class planes which you need a Sparrow or a FlyMate JG back channel version, and then you upgrade slowly. And of course, second-hand market is really good for all of us because we get more pilot, of course. And definitely, if you're looking at the range at the moment, the Sparrow is the best entry, of course. And then we have the Raven and Snipe to be the top notch of system available. And then I would say somewhere in the middle, you have FlyMate, which you rather can buy secondhand. We are not producing new systems anymore at the moment. We bring a next one next year, but actually it's not really necessary because Andre did such a great job. We're happy to have you, Andre. I mean, I want to say thank you from all you guys to Andre, that I know, I mean, he makes a living out of this, but without him, this incredible work he did now on the systems, we would not enjoy flying as much as we do at the moment. Right, so thank you.
Yeah,
for that.
thank you. It was quite a long way. At the end, it's 9 years or 8 years since I started GPS.
Okay.
Triangle electronics development.
So I just wanted to tell you quickly what you can do on FlyMate if you buy a second-hand unit, for example. So you need the Albatros from Andre, which there is a FlyMate edition available. Then you have the glider unit like this, you know, with the patch antenna and this little hard piece. So if you want to fly over the Jedi back channel, you can actually disconnect the antenna, and you can fly also with this little thing, which you can put in any light class plane. You have the tech probe on it, and you just lead this little noopsie here to transfer the data to your radio. It's basically what Andre also does with that. And at the end, I mean, on the field, if anybody tells this system has better signal than the other, they all have good connection.
Yeah.
Important is that you get your stuff correctly positioned, like we said in the beginning, because it's not possible that you come to the field and you say, hey, my Sparrow, it's not working properly. Mostly it's a setup mistake, which when you join one of our academies, for example, we are happy to help. It's always good also to come to some races as soon we have races again and learn from us. And as Andre said, he will do some specific clinics over the next few weeks to really set you guys up, which is amazing support, I would say. And I don't think then we have any problem to get racing.
Yeah. Also, many of them are also contacting me on emails, Facebook. Some of them call me, as we know each other many times. And also, let's say, GPS community pilots stress to help others. So everything is really nicely already going on. So if you're income new guy, if you have any problems, if you contact anybody out of GPS committee who is ever been on the competition, I'm pretty sure he will help you, or direct to the guy who will help you. So that's me, that's Danny, that's Philip Colt, that's Florian Jambek. Anybody who you know the name, they will help you.
So Andrew, let's talk about the hard piece. So this one.
Yeah, the biggest change. Yeah. Well, when I started developing, I didn't want to use the tablets as a basic screen, as at that time they were quite slow. And also to program them, it was quite an experience, and there were not a lot of guys knowing that. And this is why I developed the T3000 with its own screen. But after the Sky Navigator success, I would say everybody was using the tablets. More or less, I think I was one of the little group who was still flying with only T3000 in Grublingen. But then I saw that, okay, everybody is used to looking on the big screen, so next product will need to have a big screen at the end. So this is why I said, okay, all my ground units are now no display, and I will just also develop the new app, which is also the name of the birds. Yes, if you already figured it out, all the products are the bird names. Don't ask me why. That's the way it is. There is a lot of names still reserved, so I can do a lot of products. So yeah, the Albatros. Well, the Albatros app at the beginning, it was basically my idea, but that's the only product which I do not develop. So I have, let's say, freelancer guys who are developing it. We did it quite fast, as my first presentation was in autumn, and next year in spring, Albatros was developed. So it was really hard winter time from scratch. And I learned a lot. It's not easy. Still, it's not easy. The Android programming, it's not easy. It's quite complicated, but we managed. Somehow we managed. In the world last year, it was performing very stable, very nice. And now it's coming to the, let's say, to the stage where I wanted to have it 2 years ago already, but you can't go over the time. The idea of Albatros was to basically offer you everything and to be really, really user-friendly. So everybody could basically set everything by their own. By default settings, it's basically what I fly most of the time, or also other pilots, but you can fine-tune everything. Because we add a lot of options, a lot of graphics, and a lot of information is coming in, basically 20 hertz of data. It really requires, let's say, a bit newer phone or tablet to really run nicely. And that was quite a bit of shock for us when we enabled the tail settings in Albatros. That immediately when we published the release, we got a feedback from many pilots. Albatros is so slow, I cannot fly. And then we say, okay, disable tail, everything was okay. So in this moment, I would really like to point out that if you would like to start flying that, please don't start flying with Android version 4 point something or 5, at least 7, 8, the best 9. Then it will really work. So really, old tablets with Android 4.4, a bit of no-go with Albatros. It runs, but once you enable everything, it's so slow.
But there is good news on the horizon. Okay, so I installed on my 2 apps on my new tablets. I put the Spider app on, and I was using that Galaxy from 2016, which has a big battery inside, and they broke. Reparation costs €150, and they launched this year. If you want to have a tablet, they launched this year the new Tab A, which just came out, and in Switzerland, for example, there was it was
Danny,
under €200 available.
So Danny, can you see yourself, or?
I can see you.
Okay, then I have to switch to you. Otherwise, there is nothing on the recordings.
I'll show it again then.
Wait, I'm also learning a bit Zoom session. How can I turn your camera more?
So important for you guys is definitely know Andre developed that Albatros app that after a while you're actually able to fly without looking at any screen. I mean, this is something I can really promise you guys. The voice and everything is so precise that you can really fly sharp corners, not going away from your plane. So basically, you have to decide if you want to have a tablet or a phone. So the phone, of course, is smaller, as we all know. The tablet is great if you go on the weekend to race when your co-pilot needs to look at the tablet, because he has all the information about altitude and so on the tablet, which is a really great thing. So that's why I really recommend you guys to go for the tablet version with the stands. It depends what radio you have. It's how it is. Do I have to push something, or?
I don't know. I really don't know how to put you on the screen.
Try. The host had the screen sharing. It would be open for everyone, I think, Andre.
Okay.
Never mind. You guys can look it up. I just want to pronounce the name again. There was a Samsung Tab A 10 zoll size, which was very expensive before, and now the 2019 version costs really €200, which is really, really nice. And as Andre said, it's very important that you have something good, because at the end you want to have good trans.
Okay, I think we lost you a bit, Danny. If you can hear me, just please write something on the chat so I know that you can hear me. Okay.
Oh, he's back. It's the host. Yeah, let's see. But it's great that we can see you. Great.
Okay, hi, can you hear me?
Andrew's back.
I lost internet, so it just.
That's fine. That's fine.
Reconnect. So sorry for that. Okay, I don't know what I lost. I don't know how to make you for the screen. So I'm learning also here. I will have to ask somebody later on.
Perhaps video change.
Okay, we can go on. So.
Okay, it's recording.
Yeah, so basically the Albatros app is, I will share my screen. Okay, let's go to my website. And I will just go under the manuals and click Albatros. Basically, you can find everything, all manuals, all quick infos on my website. They are not long, like 24 pages. Just read them. Albatros app can be downloaded for free from Google Play Store. Everybody can do it. You can upload it to unlimited number of devices. You can play with it. You can create all the profiles, everything. You just cannot communicate with the device. Then you will have to purchase the license for the device you wish to connect. But before that, you can try it. You can create a task, import a task, save a task, edit the now boxes on the screens, learn how to use it, click on it, play with it. Basically, once you start the Albatros app, you will get a screen like this with basic settings. The biggest menu is then a settings menu where you set all the parameters. The task menu is basically where you set your task you wish to fly, create a new task. You can do this from your home, on the airfield, or place you wish to fly over the Google Maps. The logbook is basically showing you your flights you have made, and there is some info about which is not important right now. Okay, we skip the flight and the task. The task page, basically when you create a task, you get a screen like this. You point out where to start. You can set the course to which the task is orientated, change the options of the task, and so on and so on. But I would come back to this in one of my workshops, which we will just talk about Albatros, using it and setting it up correctly. Today it's just quick info or introduction. Let me just auto enable all edit. Basically in the settings, which starts here, you have a lot of options. Basically, majority of the settings now with new version 1.6 are based on glider now. They're not common anymore. And you can just set your glider information, that is with what is the name of your glider, the weight, the wingspan, the wing area, warnings which you would like to have enabled or disabled during the flight, the voice announcements which you would like to have being reported at which interval, all the graphics, all the colors. Can you hear me, Danny?
Yes, you're back.
Okay, all the graphics, basically all the colors of the app, the Vario, speed command is something which is coming, but let's say Vario settings. Servo settings is basically a servo control, which is using the servo pulse to control the app. Unit in which you would like to have data displayed. Some cloud settings, this is basically not a real cloud, but your email account, your GPS terrain link account, and some future accounts which are coming very soon, but I will not go into these waters now. And the new beep settings, which I would like to announce, it's there. You just have to scroll it a bit to find it, because this is new in version 1.6, and it's hidden. You only see first 4 columns and it's 5th column. So you have to scroll a bit and you get the beep settings to set all your inside beep, before turn beeps, penalty beeps, and so on. So this is basically just quick setup, which is then many sub setup settings. And basically to present a fly screen, when you press a flight button, this is the view you get with a header, the name of the page on which you are currently, and each page has its own, I call it now boxes. This is the 6 information boxes below, which can be set by user by a short click on any of the now box you wish to change. You get a list which is on the bottom right side, and you just select from the list of all information available which you would like to have on this now box which you select. When you change the page, you can change it with the arrows in the header. You can go from start to thermal to glide to info, or you can set it up that you can control all this from your transmitter with, let's say, mixture of different switches to one servo channel. And basically, you get your plane in the middle of the screen. Orientation of the map is always so-called track up. That means your glider and the blue line is always up, and the task and the sectors and everything is rotated around you. So if you see in the picture left above, the sector, let's say point, is left up. So basically you have to turn your glider left, and this point will move to the right side into the towards the blue line, and then you are navigating towards the point. Let's say in the picture top right, you can also see the red line. This is basically the line you have to fly to the point, and the blue line is just the line which you are flying now. When you cover blue and the red, you are going to the right direction. All the announcements, all the stereo navigation will get you there eventually. So I think that was pretty much very quick introduction of the Albatros, how to use it.
I mean, let's see if you can actually see my screen when I'm talking. I hope yes. Can the others wave if they can see me? That's quite interesting, because I had the questions from, oh yeah, cool.
Somebody's waving.
Somebody's waving, better one than none.
Okay.
Two things. There is a chat on the right side. We have some questions in there already. I think Andre can read them in the time I'm talking at the moment.
I think I should answer all the questions at the end.
Yeah, I mean, yes, but I just wanted to say, if you guys want to ask some questions, please type them in here. We go in details at the end. So basically, what questions I got is how I personally set up my Albatros, because we guys, I'm flying with a few guys here in Switzerland. We were quite lucky, so we were able to fly a bit. So, you know, when we go to races, we kind of try to all have the same setup on the Albatros. So actually, when we swap navigator and so on, you actually see what's going on. Setting it up is very personal. I'm not going to say this is right, but I got asked what tasks I have on the pages, and I just wanted to show you on my new beautiful top, which I'm going to drop soon, I guess. And I like to fly it without the background, so you know you have to press on it quickly. You will figure that out quickly. I did not, but now I know it, so it's fine. Then you have the pages. As you can see, this is my start page. So basically, you have six options to choose from. Andre did a great manual, so you can choose on. And what we basically do is, I always have on the left corner, I have my altitude, and next to it, I have the ground speed. Okay.
But Danny,
yes?
I have to correct you here.
Yes,
you have to set the 3D speed.
Yes. I have not used that one yet.
Otherwise, you'll get penalties.
Never mind. So height. That's very important for you navigate.
I'm losing you a bit.
So I guess Andrew is gone again. So
Let
me show you. Okay, let me show you one little thing Andrew did. If you came flying from the Sky Navigator and you got used to turning points with not as many infos as Andrew did before, I was trying it a bit. Andrew installed that on the Albatros nicely. Is that beep option? Oh, it's too bright, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, it's too bright. Never mind. So what I figured out for myself, I have 2 distance beeps 3 seconds before the turning point, which is similar to the Sky Navigator setting before. I mean, this is even more personal. Hage got used to the standard setup Andre is providing, and he's flying indexes around 104, which is incredible. So at the end of the day, it's a pilot thing, and you just have to set it however you like.
Yeah.
How you do that, Andre? How you have a tablet, or you wearing you have a phone on the radio, right?
I have the phone on the radio because I want to be mobile. I'm always moving around the pilot box. I don't know why, but yeah, I know why, because everybody is talking German and I don't understand German, so I just go away. So I'm not disturbed too much, and I talk in English to my helper, and everybody can understand what I'm telling to my helper, and I don't understand anybody else what they're talking. So a little bit tactics at the end. So I want to be mobile. Also, with the newest version of the Albatros, which is coming in 2 weeks, some bug fixes. I also fixed all the full settings of the now box, which would be 3D speed, not ground speed. So basically, let's say if somebody will start flying after 2 weeks, everything will be, let's say, preset as majority, let's say 80% of pilots will use anyway. At the end. So yeah, that's it. And basically what I would also like to tell you, I have to just tell that because I have been logged out 2 times now due to unstable Wi-Fi connection. Now I'm on the cable. I lost all the chats, so you will have to read it to me, Danny, at the end. And what I would also like to point out is basically during the development in last year, let's say, more active. People were trying to get 2 ground units, one for helper, one for themselves, or basically one for a stand and one for, let's say, on the transmitter. So this is why I also developed the so-called listen mode. So you can have 2 ground units, each talking to 1 plane unit, Sparrow or Raven, whatever. So this is also important, but that's not for the beginners. That's for, let's say, advanced users who would like to have more information for helper. And basically they have 2 independent ground solutions, and they can, somebody can watch the glide page and helper thermal page, whatever. So that's also very nice to have basically 2 different information. So you can have up to 12 informations at the in one time on the ground if needed.
So Andre, I have one question which we're all waiting for since many years. When will we be able to follow racing online, seeing planes racing next to each other as a guy at home or at the field? Will that be possible one day, or what do you think?
I know I told you that cloud settings, there will be some other accounts which I will not go into that water, so you start putting this water to my mouth. It's something, it's already being developed at this moment, but we have to test it first. And
no, I mean,
sure, not this year. We plan this, let's say, next year to be stable and used for public. So everybody who will not be able to attend competition in Eglisau or at Grublingen, they could do a live track of the situation, what is going on at this moment over there. Who is winning, who has more laps, who has higher altitude, who has more time to spend, and so on. So that will be very interesting.
No, I mean, I don't want to tell you that you have to have it finished by tomorrow, but if the guys already know that one day we'll be able to have that, that will be incredible, right?
Yeah, that's my big plan. as I think that will make much nicer competition, as not only 15 or 20 pilots on the field will enjoy, but worldwide everybody who would like to see it.
Exactly. No, that's great. You want to tell something about being able to upload from Albatros on the Triangle League? What is this? What you're doing there with the?
Yeah, basically,
that's gonna work.
Yeah, at this moment, I don't know if everybody knows, there are basically two separate online sessions, which is the GPS committee. This is week of Danny and Philip was last week, and today Danny and me. But John Copeland is doing the same in Australia. He will do it also on Friday. You can also see this Zoom session recording on YouTube. There is a link, maybe you can find it and publish it. Over there, they already presented the GPS Triangle League web page. That's basically a web page where all the flights can be uploaded, scored, and you can basically fly against somebody from Germany, against somebody from America, Australia, South Africa, Tenerife, whatever, Finland, whatever. So basically, I got an impression and I got a feedback that many of users didn't publish the flights on this website, which is perfect, which is very nice, because they just got lost. Which file, how to upload, where to upload, and so on and so on. So this is why in Albatros, in cooperation with Pascal, who is the guy behind the server of GPS Triangle League, we managed to do it that you just do one click on upload button in the Albatros and the flight is already online and everybody will see it. Basically altitude profile, your motor usage and your track, how you fly and your indexes and so on and so on. So that's very good, and please go there. You don't even need to log in. You can just check the flights. If you log in, you get more information about the flights, all the lab informations. Start using this web page. Also, it's free, so just do it.
So what you can also do, we did it through the Corona times a little bit. You can also create your own race. For example, if I go with Andre on the field, we can do Andre against Danny on the field, and you can upload flights there, and you get a result in the evening, which which is quite exciting. I mean, we all know that different days make different flights, so you are also able to race your friend during a day, during a session. You can create starting windows and so on, and it's definitely a tool we will follow in near future. And I mean, Andre, we are still helping to develop and specialize also that that application, so penalties get recorded and so on and so on. I mean, it's still developing. I mean, you guys have to know that Pascal does that in his free time. It's free to use for everyone. So please also accept that the developing speed there is not as quick as in a company which actually makes a profit out of it. So we can be very happy to have this tool. And I think in the future, we will be also able to use that tool a little bit more. And for you to train, it's definitely great to see and what others do or what you do, and learn about lap speed, for example, altitude, and so on.
Index is parameter which hurts a lot, the most.
I think it's time to talk about index. What do you think? So if a guy starts to fly GPS, okay, first time he has to make it around the triangle, which is hard if you never did it before. When you go into specific training, flying around the triangle, what do you think in those classes, what index you should be able to achieve to call yourself good enough to get around the track?
Well, I'm happy in scale 108 and in light 110.
Okay.
It's harder to do a smaller index in light class because every meter counts a lot when the overall distance is low. but I can tell the experience I got. I flew two weeks ago with a Slovenian pilot, Primož Rižner, who is a very good F3J, F5J pilot. Maybe some of you know him. And he started flying the GPS Light class now. Super day. It was so much fun. And Primož told me, okay, look, we have to be careful not to crash. You know, I'm learning a bit still. I will be maybe lost, so we not crash. I said, Primož, I don't think we will meet in the sky because we will just go around with different speed. Maybe it's not like F5J all in one thermal. Well, we meet one time and that's it.
Okay.
And basically, just because of a bit worse index, he lost one lap. And that then you really see what 130 against 110 index at the end means. That means 7 or 8 laps. That's it. So this is what it's hurting you the most. And this is why I would prefer to say that Snipe ground unit will make much more for you. Yes, it is more expensive, but will help you fly very low index on your own. Otherwise, if you fly alone, you have to look down to a navigation screen. You will just lost too much time focusing where to fly if you are alone, not having helper, against some device which will tell you basically just earphones left, right, fly.
How it is at the end of the day, right? I mean,
Yeah.
we from the Triangle group, we also have T3000s which got upgraded, so you can come to any race and use one of those to fly. I mean, it's good enough to get the first impression of all, and you're definitely also able to see all the others. Or if you see some guys flying, you can see on the tablet how razor blade sharp that signal at the moment is, that you can really push hard and fly. I mean, this is something you will learn. And what do you think, Andre, flying GPS in general, in terms of tactics and so on, you're improving as a pilot incredibly, right? I was talking to Philip before last week. So what do you think from your perspective?
Yeah, well, just to tell you, I still am a full-size pilot, around 600 hours being done till now. Let's hope for more. Then I was flying F3K competitions for 5 years, then F5J for 3 years. But at the end, I just didn't find motivation anymore. It was just, you got a thermal or you didn't get it. That was basically it on these competitions. And then when I start flying GPS, yeah, you see how much more you can improve. That's once you know how to fly GPS, everything else it's piece of cake, in my opinion. Okay, acrobatic flying, it's different, but soaring and reading the weather, deciding, calculating the tactics, that really makes you like 5 steps higher pilot very quickly, because you are forced to really judge the weather, to decide quickly. Every meter counts, really, and that I really got as how do I say this? Every time I start, and when I start in the past, like in scale class 470 meters, it's okay. But then when you need 10 more meters to finish last lap, why I didn't start 495 meters? Then you see after half an hour it hurts.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's also very important. I mean, you see all those record flights, 17, 16 laps and so on. I mean, we do it when we fly, two of us, when the air is burning, you make 17 or 18, it's actually a piece of cake. Where it really comes down to flying skills, it's 3 to 5, 5 to 6. This is the low level.
Yeah, you have to work for it. That's
actually where the good pilots are falling apart from the fleet. When there is good air and you're a good pilot, to make this record laps. It's not a miracle. I mean, this is probably the most easy task about it if you know how to fly.
You just have to start quick at the beginning. Then
that's it.
and hope for the weather. But at the end, you know, when I started with this idea together with Uli and Pascal about light class, and then we developed and we talked together at Spain, Tortosa, to start it. And you know, when you asked me what do I think, I said, well, I think 10 laps max, 11 really, if you're heavy, that will be top. Because yes, these planes are light. And then pilot starts flying it. So I will not tell you who, but you can see him on the screen. 17, 16, 19, a bit.
18, 7, 9.
Yeah. Then I said, oh shit, I have to improve.
But at the end, it's if you want to do a record flight, you wait all day until that window opens, you restart, you focus, and you do it. It's not a real challenge. It's nice to do it, but at the end of the day, if I fly against Hage and we have a flight which I do 3 and he does 4, it's way harder and it's way more fun to compare if we do 16 or 17 at the end of the day. It's different game.
It was just like today. we have quite a worse weather condition now for 2 weeks.
Okay.
No flying, and I got very nice WhatsApp message. Thank you, Philip. Showing me 16 laps. That's fun. Yes, I know it is, but I can't fly. I would like to go fly, but yeah, if you have a conditions, that's it. But as I also talked with others, I said, look guys, in the competitions, 6, 7 laps, that will be amazing. That will be fight for, even in scale, sport class, light class, that's the number. You have to fight for it for half an hour or 20 minutes. And this is where your skills go up, because that is really important. All the index, all the thermals, all the right decisions, go with the wind, go against the wind, ballasted, non-ballasted, when to start, before the last one, restart just before the gate time is closed, everything counts.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, we found a new addiction. We were flying behind the house. I created that new plane. You haven't seen it yet. Styrofoam RS-370. So I developed that one with FMS, the Chinese manufacturing. And 2 days ago, we were flying behind my house, GPS speed labs, sharing the plane. You can spend days doing this. It's so much fun. I will bring it next time we can play.
So I think we can go and answer the questions now, and then we can open for everybody to just ask whatever. If you can read me the first one, I only have from 9:15 on.
So Samsung side app for 2 screens, number 1 pilot and number 2 navigator, 1 ground unit receiver, Finch snipe, which multiple sparrow. Does this require multiple licenses?
Well, this is some questions which I got from Australia guys now. The European guys never asked me that. Screen sharing.
Okay.
I don't know. I never tried to screen share from one tablet to another tablet.
It's working.
It's working.
It's working.
Okay, then you can tell me, do you need an additional license or not?
You have to use the app Mirror. It's an app from Google Play, and it's easy to use. You only set up in what you call it, in a special VLAN connection between the both tablets, and then you share it.
Yeah, but because you share it, you only can see the same what.
Only you can see the same.
Yes,
but
so
if you have the other snipe,
yeah.
Okay, it's the other turn.
So that's, yes, I would say it's working without additional license. The downside is once on the competition, once the all the 2.4 transmitters, receivers are working. Maybe you will have problems because also Bluetooth has problems. That might not work as good, and also your helper will not be able to switch the pages and give you other information.
Then the next one is, can you look the map view in Albatros that north is always up? Now the map turns, so flight direction is always up.
No, that's, let's say, unfortunate for Sky Navigator users who really want to use like this. Sky Navigator was, let's say, north up, but Albatros is set always track up, so this is not possible. The plane will always be in the middle, pointing up, and the map will go around.
Okay. Can you use Albatros with T3000?
Yes.
What do you have to do for it?
You have to update your
share your screen again. You can show it. No, you have this.
Yes, I can.
What's the questions for Matthew?
Share the screen. Right. Okay, and over here at the bottom, you have this option. Let's say we can go with T3000, and yeah, this is the old system for the plane. Sorry.
Okay.
And T3000, you need to have a T3000 cable, and you need to have T3000 version 3 point something on T3000. Then you can connect. Okay, you have to purchase also the license for it. And with the newest version of T3000, you can also connect it to a Sparrow as a plane unit or Raven as a plane unit. So basically you can have any RC Electronics new generation also connected to a T3000, and T3000 also connected to a tablet.
I mean, important also to say, Andre, I think for Albatros, if you buy that license, you can use it on as many devices for your personal use as you want to, okay? So yes, that's very important to know. So
license is linked to a serial number of device connected to the Albatros. Yeah. So you can install Albatros on 10 Android devices, but they will only talk with one T3000, one Sparrow, one FlyMate, one Snipe. Okay. And if you, by any reason, want to sell everything, you can also sell this license together with the equipment you're selling. So this is not linked to any of your personal email account or whatever. This is linked to your ground unit.
Okay, so Mr. Cerolo asks, since last update, I get one flying screen, only 5 items, no way to get the 6th field.
Yeah, that's already fixed. This is in box version coming in 2 weeks. So we cannot test everything. We are testing a lot, but once we publish, we immediately get some feedbacks from you guys, which we are thankful for that, and then we fix it and publish version A or B or C. So that's thank you for it. We know it. It's already fixed, but we will wait for 2 more bugs to be fixed before we publish new one.
Then from Lasse, in the Albatros, using the 3D speed for penalty call.
Yes.
Okay.
3D speed needs to be set and needs to be monitored as a ground GPS altitude, and 3D speed are the parameters which has to be below the limits for entry altitude and entry speed.
Okay, and they're also connected now with the triangle leak zone, so you get the same altitude and entry speed there, more or less, right? Yeah.
Yes.
This was, sorry, this was only the GPS ASL, AGL, GPS AGL for the altitude.
GPS, it's called GPS altitude.
Okay, and the 3D speed?
Yes, is for the entry speed.
Okay.
These 2 parameters, and this is now in this new version which we publish. This will be a default setting of now boxes. That was something I missed out for 1 year. I didn't notice that because I just set it correctly, and then I never saw it again. That is wrong.
Okay. The next one is, can you include model name and location in the file sent GPS triangle via Albatros app?
We try this with Pascal Brunner. It's a bit complicated because at this moment, this is not possible. You can also, when you publish it from the app, then you can go later on in the evening to your account on website and you can edit your flight and give it the location and the model. It's not possible yet, and this is the problem that Pascal has because he cannot link the name in Albatros with the name in the GPS Triangle Leak account.
Okay.
That's the problem for now. We will try to fix it, but for now, this is not possible.
All right, then the next one is John Copland announcement and John Greenfield. It will be next Friday, 22nd. We will publish it on Facebook also, so you can follow that. And I will also publish the link for that session, so you can follow there. And then we have one more question from Jonas with Snipe and Sparrow. Can you use the Jedi XBus return channel to also control the servo switching?
Yes, you can do it. Basically, if you check, I will go to share a screen again. And we go Sparrow, Yeti. That's somewhere top. Servo channel. Okay, in this page, you can see here written servo channel on SD card of Sparrow. You have a settings.ini file. You open it. You don't need to set the third-party telemetry to use, but you need to set servo channel. Basically, you link your servo control on your transmitter to, let's say, channel 20, even if you have a DS16 transmitter, because all the channels are on XBus and all 24 channels. And Sparrow will just take from the XBus the channel 20 as a control of your servo for the pages. This is something I will show on my workshops live. I will show how I have it set up and how this works. So stay tuned for that.
Okay, cool.
Okay, anything else? What does negative beeping do? This is what I see.
Yes.
Negative beeping is some, let's say, compromise what is coming next in the future, which is McCready speed to fly options, basically just available on the Raven, but this is a compromise for the Sparrow units which doesn't have the airspeed. That means the offset of beeping when the beeping starts. Basically, the vario tone, the beeping tone presents you the climbing, and continuous tone presents you sync. As an example, the sync tone goes ooh, and then starts beep, 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 beep. That means up and down. The threshold is 0. If you set the negative beeping to minus 0.6, that should represent your sync rate of your glider flying at speed of, let's say, the DON is RSV 1765 kilometers per hour. That means that the vario will start beeping when the vario is minus 0.6. That means it will go. That will indicate the pilot that the air is already rising, not the plane, but the air. Basically, it will just, the vario will beep you basically the air mass. If the air mass is already 0 and your vario is showing minus 0.6, that means only the sync rate of your glider is there, so the air mass is already not sinking. And this, for many pilots, says, okay, slow down, start searching for a thermal. There's a thermal nearby.
Okay, cool. All right, so let's see. That was the last question so far. Oh, there's another one. If the if the Albatros license is tied to my 3000, when I buy another ground station, do I have to buy a second license?
Yes.
So how are they splitted?
They're splitted by the serial number of the device, the ground device. Basically, if you would like to have 3 ground units, you need to buy 3 licenses. You need to buy 3 ground units and 3 licenses.
Okay.
There's
a license for T3000, there's a license for FlyMate, and there's a license for
Snipe and the Finch. And the license are 2 different. One is light and one is full. Light license, it's quite cheaper one because we want to promote the light class to start. That for now it's cheap, but in the future it will go up, not to the full license, but a bit higher price. But it only allows you to fly 200-meter triangles. Anything else, it's off limit. It's only the triangle, it's always set to 200 meters. And the idea of it was that license of Albatros, when we developed the T3000, the cost was quite high for the unit, but it included everything. Basically, the receiver, the display, battery, everything inside. So now when we develop all our new products without screen, we put some piece of the price to the Albatros app. So once you buy the ground unit, you have to know that you have to buy also the Albatros license. But then all the guys who are only flying the light class, they need to buy only the light version of the Albatros, which is 1/3 of the price of the full. And if somebody would like to fly scale, sport, or whatever, then they need to buy the full license.
Okay. And can you upgrade from the light to?
Yes. There is no options online, but if somebody contacts us, you just pay the difference then and you get full version of it. So no problem if somebody buys today light and they would like to upgrade in 1 year to full, no problem. You just pay the difference.
So next question is, why is there maximum altitude in the light class? I think that's a very important one we have to point out. Yeah.
That's a very important one. The light class, okay, I will answer because at the end, let's say it was, the idea came from me, and light class is based on F5J, F3J planes with motors, and I didn't want to have the case that everybody will go to 800 meters and fly there, because that's really unsafe. I have been talking with a lot of guys over the last years. Many of them are telling me they have big problems flying GPS triangles because of the altitude limitation of airspaces and the rules in their countries. They are all limited to 300 max, maybe to 400. And I said it will be much, much more fun to fly lower and fast and to fight for the thermals at 100 meters or 50 meters and not 500 and 800 meters with light class planes. And this is why I decided just let's put a new limitation that nobody goes higher than 350 meters. And this, I know, in some countries might be the problem because of strong wind. But it's still, let's say, the rules are in the beginning, and if there is a very good, how do you say, statement why somebody should use higher, maybe we could change. But at the end, if there is a local contest, they can have a local rule, put this limitation to 500 meters because of the weather, the wind is stronger, whatever, fly it at the local competition higher. So that's always possibility.
at the end, it's more exciting anyway. Also, in the
is.
German racing, we had in the scale class altitude height limitation, and it just keeps it more attractive because people are not going all the way up into forbidden airspaces. And I think that's why it's always good to have a cover, right?
Yeah, the first competition which I met, the height limitation was in Grublingen.
Yeah.
It was, I think, 800 meters. Was
600.
Oh, 600 meters. 600 meters. And when I came, I said, ooh,
yes,
that's something new, because, you know, you really want to go high, because half an hour, it doesn't go fast when it's bad weather. It goes fast when it's a good weather. But then I saw it, this is perfect. You could really see the plane. Everybody just stopped thermaling at 550, went for the lap, get it again. Much more was happening than like 2 years before that in Vipava. Everybody was flying 1,000 meters.
Yes,
and that's not fun anymore, because the planes are so small. Even the big ones are already so small. I said, well, we have to push everybody to fly lower. And yes, all these 18, 17, 16 laps were done up to 350 meters. So you really don't need to go high, because you need to go fast.
What about the next one? Raven antenna, vertical or horizontal? From Rick.
So Raven antenna, find your best position. Try vertical, try horizontal, whatever makes you better reception, use it.
So I have on the Snipe, I was using it upright, right? And then I saw Florian Schambeck using it vertical and changed it. I feel much better.
Really, it depends on the internal installation, where the batteries are, where is the landing gear, where is the antenna, depending on these positions, because all the metal parts are reflecting the signal back. There is no real answer. You just push it somewhere. If it's a bet, find a better spot. That's my answer for it for now. This is why also the new high gain Raven antenna was introduced, because it's on 0.5 meter cable, which works much better than normal Raven antenna with antenna extension.
Yes, yes.
So this is why it's better to use high gain antenna. It's 20 euro, I think, than to buy the extension cable and use normal antenna. You will see the difference, up to 2 times the distance.
Stefan is asking, not clear if he has 1 ground unit and 2 Sparrows. He does not need 2 licenses. No. He has 1. He needs it for his ground unit, and you can have as many glider units you want to be linked to that.
To 1 unit, yes. Only to ground units. The license for Albatros is linked to ground unit.
You only need 1 anyway. I like the T3000 beeps when I'm approaching the turn sector. Can Albatros do the same?
Only with Snipe. Okay. Otherwise, the Albatros will now only beep when you have reached the sector. You are inside the sector, it will go beep, beep, beep. That means you made it, go to next point.
Okay. So the default task with light license is 500 meter track. How can I change to default to 200 meters and change speed default from 120 to 60?
Okay, yes, as I told you, default is basically, because Albatros was developed before the light class came, this is a default task in the Albatros. If you load this task, even if it's 500 meters, 120 kilometers per hour, and 500 height regulation, if you have a light license, it will automatically push it to 60, 200, 200. But to change these parameters, I will share the screen again. You go to the manual of Albatros, you read it through, and when you find this task description, which should be here, You go press edit task. Once you see the task, the picture, the left picture, you press options, you get the middle picture where you can change the right picture where you can change the task length, max entry altitude, max entry speed, and the working time. You set here the light class parameters and you have the light class task.
Yes.
Okay.
I think, Andre, not to go into much detail, just I had this experience when you make a new task on your Albatros. It's always important to have connection to the internet, right?
It's good to have, because if you have an internet connection, then you will have a Google Map. Otherwise, only widescreen and you don't know where to set it.
So it's only the first time when you set it, you really have to connect it to your phone. You can have a hotspot from your phone. That's the easiest thing.
You can do your task from the home, from your Zofa. You can just say, tomorrow I will fly, I know in which airfield or which model strip.
Yes.
You just find it on Google Map, point it there. This is my task start. You rotate it, save it, and you are good to go for next time, for next day to fly.
Okay. So there's one more. I can change it for all tasks individually, but it's nice. Could always have preset doing the yeah, luxury problem.
Luxury.
Sometimes, yes.
At the end, you will set 5 tasks or 20 tasks in your lifetime. That's it. So 20 times you will set these parameters in life. So it is how it is for now.
Then the last one, can you imagine using phones, tablets, GPS to select locations?
It's already working. If you have a Wi-Fi connection or your mobile connection, at the time you want to create a task, it will show you your location, where the system indicates you are located. It can be like 1 kilometer away where you actually are, but that's what we can get from localization of phone. So this is information we get from phone, and the accuracy is up to 1 kilometer radius. So this is where it helps you to set you the position where you are now, and then you have to find it and fine tune your actual starting position on the Google Map. It's really easy. Just install it, play with it, and that's it.
Then the one from David. When you listen to Jetty telemetry, can you remove the absolute altitude voice announcement? It takes too long to say and only says altitude.
That is okay. That's, I think it's the voices from Yeti.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I got this from Martin Winter at Tortosa already. I contacted the Yeti guys and I have to find on their system what kind of name of the sensor value should be, so that the Yeti will not tell me absolute altitude. So this is something that I have to change just because of the Yeti, and yeah, I can do it in the next updates. It cannot be the altitude anymore, but it will be relative altitude, the name, and then it will say altitude only. That I have to change.
Okay, okay. Cool. So to set a new task and the location is in Slovenia, not UK. I mean,
that should work if you press it now.
Yesterday a new one, and I think the center of the world is Switzerland. I mean, why should it be in Slovenia?
That was with the version before 1.6. In 1.6, this should be fixed now. If you update to 1.6, which is 1 week old now, this should be fixed. Before it was always in Slovenia. Yes, that's correct. But it is now something which we fixed. So John, okay,
Never mind. It's nice to have a look at Google Map on Slovenia. We can see Vipava. I mean, where we all want to go. I mean, I got a picture from Jan how nicely the grass is. I mean, we're gonna go there. Let's hope we can still go this year. But at least when we set a new task, we can look at Vipava's airfield a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think these are all questions. If somebody would like to ask something,
I want to ask you one question I asked Philip last week to end up that thing, Andre. Which was your best battle or flight you had in a race?
Wow. Well, the most I remember the last, but one of the last. But yeah, well, the first one, the first competition, I would say, was nice because, as I explained in the beginning, I borrowed the glider from Matej Rozman. And after I basically launched it first time one day before competition. This was the first time I used Aerotow and scale glider. I said, okay, I know how to land, I know how to take off, I will manage. And after the competition in Italy, I beat Matej, so that was fun. But the remember competition was basically this year in Tortosa. It was the last hit of the day,
okay,
which I was flying in, and basically I was just talking with a group of pilots. I'm always talking about and offering the help for others. And I just didn't realize that everybody already lined up. And then Pete Brewer come to me and said, Andre, that was my helper. You will not fly? I said, yes, I would like. Everybody is waiting. Should I put you into the waiting list? And I said, well, I remember 2 days ago, Philip beat us all because he started the last one. Let's do it. Let's just wait. I don't care. We have 20 more minutes after everybody takes off. Let's wait. And basically, everybody lined up. I pushed my glider to the starting line, and Silvio landed, and Peter Nimitz was the takeoff judge and said, come on, Andre, push, we have to go. I said, no, Silvio, turn off the motor. I will wait for 15 minutes. And Peter Nimitz asked me, what are you waiting for? Even worse weather? You see, everybody's just coming down. And I said, no, I'm waiting for other weather. Just to be in another. And then I lined up 3 minutes or 5 minutes before the line closed. I took off when the first landed. I know they did 4 laps, many 3. I said, Pete, if we hear a beep, we stay. We have 30 minutes alone. We have been flying absolutely alone, doing 6 laps. Everybody was 1,000 points, and that was, let's say, alone in the World Championships. I was alone in the sky for a whole time. That was really the flight to remember. So that was.
That's great. Oh yeah. All right. No, that's good. Then we have another question with Baba in September. I think it's not a question. It's more about the date we need to, Jan will need to pronounce the date, open those borders, and then we stand all next to each other. But I guess it's going to happen. So we planned that in September for sure. And then there was like, I would be nice to have the start page, short voice announcements of height. Mr. Cerolo, so he can send you beer money or gin and tonic or something, no? That you can make anything happen.
I already have some of from him already, so I have to go to Tenerife to get drunk. But overall, I'm not a fan of short announcements. It's just too much.
Okay.
I'm already doing something. You can see in the new beep settings, it's a start condition. You can enable it, but it's not working yet. So the system will make a short beep or some kind of beep when there will be a penalty for sure.
Okay.
When you will cross the start line, for sure you will have too much altitude or too much speed. So then you have time to pull the brakes, put the butterfly, go around, do it again. So this is, I prefer much more to have different beeps than voice announcement, because it's already a lot going on competitions. When you fly alone, yes, no problem. But when you are in competition, helper is telling you something, somebody else is shouting something, the plane is taking off, you don't hear the voice announcement.
Okay.
That's why.
All right. So if there is no more questions, I would say we go over to the, yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I can now unmute all, stop recording, and then somebody would like to ask me something, or I still go recording for others.
Well, let's stop the recording for now. I think that's fine. And then we open the